Charlotte's starting to get a little bit annoyed with him with all the attention she gets. Just a little annoyed, but still. And he laughed a little bit too hard about the that trophy name, which is also the name of the episode, the Seaman Cup Trophy. He thought it was a little bit too hilarious. And I'm wondering also, he calls Scarlett a bundle of joy. Look, he's not really the loser. He's Gary. He's a legend in this show. But for this episode, he's my pick.
Okay. That might be the first time you've ever picked Gary. Maybe once ever.
My heart's not fully into it, but I can't think of anyone else.
That's fair. Sean, it's just us showing that anybody can lose the episode, right? Even the superstars.
My second choice was Glenn for sleeping so late.
Yeah.
9:15. The boats.
Yeah. The other, okay. So I have one now. So I am going to pick the guests. I think the guests lost, not because they weren't good people. This is nothing about who they were, but they didn't get to sail. And so they would be the first people all season who didn't get to sail. Yeah, it's kind of a punt, but at the same time, if I'm renting a sailing yacht and paying what, 60 grand, I'd like to go sailing at some point. So I know they were disappointed. So they aren't losers by any means. They're great people, but I think they kind of lost the episode. They did have a great experience, but they didn't get to sail.
No, they had a really race looked fun too.
Yeah, but, no, I think they had a good time, but yeah.
I also love. I know Ashley got in a little trouble for this, like how casual they were with like these guests. But like Gary was hugging Lane a bunch.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Yeah, they really treated the crew like equals, like in a very refreshing, fun way.
Yeah.
Like, right. They're like similar ages too. And like, yeah, that made sense. Fantastic people. But yeah, you're right. If you rent a sailing yacht, kind of
want to sail.
Right to the point, yeah. John,
who'd you? So
who'd you have winning? Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go Daisy here.
Okay.
I do have now. Listen, I have to caveat it with like, it was not good. It was not good that she didn't tell Marcos ahead of time that Glenn's joining them. So I'm caveating this, but I thought she had a really strong episode in the sense that she is telling Scarlett, like, she's trying to separate Gary and Scarlett for the good of her department. And then at the end, she also kind of gives Ashley some like constructive criticism. Yeah. Where she's like, hey, listen, like you have to be more, I guess, professional around how you're talking to the guests. And also like you have great play settings and things like that, but you need to bring other aspects here. So I just thought she had a good episode. I mean, candidly, I was going to pick Marcos because he kind of cooked with a heavy heart. But I figured you would. So
yeah, I did. I do like Daisy. Also has a nice moment with Marcos at the very end, like kind of giving him a hug and cheering him back up. Yeah, Daisy's an awesome boss. Like that was, and her with Ashley, that was great constructive criticism. Like you compliment somebody also, but then also like here's where you can improve. Yeah, I picked Marcos. It kind of was his episode. Like for those of us, like I mentioned, like if you're also watching Blood Dog Down Under at the same time, it really is night and day. But he had two amazing dinners. I do not envy him next episode making that cake, the gluten-free, dairy-free cake.
Well, and he has to make everything else with at least one person's gluten-free, dairy-free. So yeah, I guess dairy-free is not a big deal if you're a chef. Gluten-free is a pain in the ass, I'm sure, or a big pain in the ass. Because you can just cook with like butter, like margarine and stuff like that, right?
I like how the guests are like, yeah, we're gonna do a wedding. There's nothing you can do with that.
Yeah, they gave him what, and to be fair, Glenn probably could have told Marcos like a day at a time. By the way, there's a wedding cake you're gonna have to make, right?
Yeah, everyone's so shocked that they're picking the guests up tomorrow. It's like, there's no like schedule?
Yeah, I guess not. All right, so Sean, let's get into question of the week, and then after that, I want to read a podcast review that we got.
Love that. All right, John, this one is not Bullet related. We do this sometimes. So summer's upon us, and I think some of us may have a little bit of extra downtime in the summer. John, do you have any TV like streaming recommendations for our listeners? Anything from the past year?
Yeah. So I'll give you what I'm actually watching right now. So
Do it.
I was just turned on to Hacks. It's on
Okay.
HBO. So it's got Gene Smart. And it's basically a legendary Las Vegas stand-up comedian has to like change things about her act, bring it up to speed. So she brings in like a young writer. And so obviously they clash. And so like, without giving anything away, it's 2 seasons. I am in season 1.
Mhm.
I don't know if season 2 is like airing right now, but I'm watching it on demand on HBO.
I
So got
believe.
that going.
Oh, John, I believe I've seen previews for season 2 right now, so maybe it is.
Okay. Yeah.
That
So that's what I'm watching. And it's good. And then have you watched that, Sean? Or you watched season 1, you said?
I watched. Yeah, I watched season 1. I do really like it. I like all the Vegas insider stuff,
Yeah.
which is something like there's very few TV shows about people that live in Las Vegas, and like kind of like how the casinos work with like comedians, or if you have a residency and stuff like that.
Yep.
I really liked all like I don't know, like living in Las Vegas stuff. I really appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also bring this up because I feel like it's like I feel like the target audience for Below Deck isn't too far off from Hacks.
Okay.
Like, so, I think that's a good show to watch. And Sean, what about yourself?
So those of you that follow me at Blood Sean on Twitter. So this show is a little old right now. It came out in premiered in February of this year.
Okay.
On Hulu. The Dropout. So, John, I've not been this passionate about a TV show in like 4 years, I would say. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Save for last season of Sailing Yacht, when like we discovered that this spinoff was going to be amazing.
Yep.
But so The Dropout, it's on Hulu. It stars Amanda Seyfried as Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos infamy. And Jen, I know there's a lot of shows recently about kind of like ripped from the headlines con artists or defamed like Silicon Valley founders. There was a WeWork show, there's an Uber show, Inventing Anna and all that.
Yep.
So I wasn't really excited for this show. And John, I was blown away by it. I also think there'll be a lot of crossover appeal for Below Deck, people that watch Below Deck. I watch everything. This is the best new show I've seen in years. Amanda Seyfried's going to win every award, like Emmys, Golden Globes, all that, and
Yeah.
just amazing cast, amazing soundtrack, and also just like nice like time capsule of the early mid 2000s. And then also the early 2010s too. Like it's phenomenal. So if you have time, check that out.
Yeah. So I watched a little bit of it. Like I watched it through osmosis because my girlfriend was watching some.
Okay.
And it's actually really interesting because like I remember there were some scenes that like they were doing flashbacks, and like the lead actress is Amanda, right?
Amanda Seyfried.
She was like playing a high school student, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that looks like a high school student, and yet she's 36, and
Yeah.
she was also a high school student. Wasn't she in the movie Mean Girls?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's Karen in Mean Girls. Yeah.
So she has successfully played a high school student in like, when did Mean Girls come out?
2004.
So she's played 18 years apart. She can play a high school student, which good skin. Like I don't know, like.
And John, credit to her acting. So she's a naturally very beautiful girl. You're not attracted to her watching the show because she's so into character.
Oh yeah.
That she plays her as such like a little weirdo.
Yep.
You're not like, oh, she's so hot. You're like, I don't know. She's just so. It's very rarely for someone that good looking to kind of transform into something totally different. And I don't know, just I finished the show like months ago and I'm still blown away.
Yeah. Well,
But
I'm sure it'll come back when you said during the uh nomination season comes around.
yeah. I mean, it's Golden Globes. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
two was Hacks and the Dropout.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about the second season of Hacks too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like it. And it's like obviously there's strong female leads in the show, but I think men enjoy the show too. I really like the show. So I think like you can watch with your significant other, whatever, you know what I mean? Everybody's going to enjoy it. So,
Beautiful.
Sean, so we got a 5-star review I want to bring up.
Love to.
So, it's it's from ARMV4. I don't know what that stands for, but thank you. And it's titled Incredibly In-Depth Recap of Below Deck. I love the way these guys give a combination of recap and honest opinions. They really see right through the show, the characters and the editors to help the listeners make sense of the twists in reality shows shipboard. They are real people with a great podcast. So thank you. Obviously, I think the more ratings we get, the more people we can reach. So thanks for giving us not only a 5-star review, but kind of giving us some feedback that, hey, maybe Sean and I are doing the right thing, and at least one person's liking what we're doing. So really appreciate that.
Appreciate it so much as well. Thank you. We got a lot this year. Hey, we kind of spun off from Kiki and Kibitz about like 9 months ago, maybe 10 months ago, and it's like I get all the numbers. It's been huge. It's really good recently. So thank you everyone for listening, and we'll keep spreading the word, and I don't know, we really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Sean. So man, I'm sad to say, but we are now 15 episodes into Below Deck Sailing Yacht, and I'm a little worried because I haven't seen anything for Below Deck Med. So not sure what's happening there, or maybe I'm just not looking closely, but man, I'm getting a little nervous.
They definitely filmed it. Malia recently brought up that she's not on the season. It's like the people are talking about it, but there should have been a trailer by now, because there's gonna be 2 more Sailing Yacht episodes, right?
Yep. And then a reunion.
And a reunion, and maybe a week off. But then what? Andy Cohen, what next?
It's got to be around 4th of July. So we're less than a month out, and we don't have anything yet. So I'm a little worried, but hey, we'll see what happens.
What if it's just a really bad season?
Dude, could be.
Maybe they're burying it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Either way, we'll be here to review it, though, right?
That would be actually a very fun podcast about.
What?
Just like a mess of a season that was awful. Or would it? I don't know.
Well, let's put it this way: they're not putting the ad budget into it that they have in previous.
I know.
So a little worried here, man, because not a lot of people watch the reunions. So
definitely less.
So they've been getting like over a million people to watch the Below Deck Sailing Yacht each episode. I think last week's, because it was Memorial Day, didn't do a million, but it still did like 9 or 8 or some 800,000, 900,000. So it was close. So if they're doing a million here, not everybody watches the reunions, especially like part 2's the reunions. Yeah. So they really need to be advertising it now, and they're not. So I don't know, man. Early indications we might be in trouble for this season of Med.
that actually makes me excited though.
Yeah.
In a weird way. It's puzzling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless they're gonna do like a little Below Deck break, but I don't see them doing that.
This train don't stop.
Yeah, Sailing Yacht outrates all the housewives currently. So
yeah,
they need the money.
Yeah. So all right, Sean. Hey, we'll be back next week with another episode, and this one's gonna have some crew shenanigans.
Can't wait, John. Everyone, thank you for listening. Thanks for the reviews. Bon voyage.